Everybody's screen seems to be working except mine. I'm gonna need it.
Are you going to cry over the garage?
My monitor isn't logged in. My monitor isn't logged in to the presentation.
Log it on this moment. Okay, sorry.
Check. Are we ready to begin? All right. We call this Landmarks Commission hearing to order. Today's Wednesday, December 17th. The time is 12:30 p.m. And we'll begin with a roll call, starting over here to my left. Lawrence, if you'd like to begin with stating your name.
Lawrence Hawkinson.
Jeff Ringer,
Jesse Embry.
Eric Carter.
David Ammett,
Susan Kruger Barber.
Wendy Ullman.
And this isn't on the agenda, but should I state, being the vice chair, David has asked me to conduct the meeting, just, okay. To announce a note of decorum, although this is a public hearing, only the presenters and those invited by the committee may speak or ask questions unless otherwise invited by the chair. Please wait to speak until called on. When speaking, please be sure to speak into the microphone so that the record is clear. Please state your name and city of residence for the record. Please limit side conversations as they interfere with the audio recording. If you need to have a side conversation, please step out of the chambers. Please do not attempt to interrupt or speak over people. Intimidating or threatening speech or behavior will not be tolerated at any time. Please refrain from clapping, cheering, booing, or being otherwise disruptive during the hearing. And with that, we'll read our agenda. It's item number 1. Brian Dabb requests a Landmarks certificate of appropriateness for the demolition and reconstruction of a garage within a historic lot in the R1.6 one-family residential zone located at 905 East Center Street, Foothills neighborhood.
Okay. All right, so yeah, this item on this property came before the Landmarks Commission about a year ago. Um, Property's on the historic register, and they were looking to divide the property, and where the property lines were being proposed were going to conflict with where that existing garage is. And so the Landmarks Commission approved a certificate of appropriateness to do that, to allow that garage to be demolished. And a condition was that they come back with a new certificate of appropriateness for the new garage that would be located on the property. So kind of a little bit of refresher there, and then just kind of go through a couple slides here. So this is the Van Wagenen house that's on the property. And then here is the proposed one-car garage that they are looking to put on the property. And then on the next slide, I'm going to show you where they're looking to locate this. So over on the left-hand side, you can see where it says new garage. That's the location. So the existing house situated there would be 6 feet off the existing house, and then just outside of the new public utility easements that go around the property. So yeah, this location I think works well for the site, and staff doesn't have any issues with that component of it. I don't know if you have any questions.
I'm new to this, so I'm not sure how this works. Is this, can I just ask a question? Okay. I was just curious about, if you go back a slide and we can see the roof shape. I'm just curious why that roof shape was used. It seems a little unusual.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So the applicant will be able to come up and speak to probably to those type of questions.
Okay. So are these questions, or at this point, do we ask questions of you specifically?
If you have specific questions for staff, I can help with those.
Okay, thank you.
Something like that question's a good question. I think the applicant would be able to give more insight as to how they came up with that design. But there wasn't anything in our code requiring that.
So just to clarify, this new proposal addresses concerns we had at the last meeting regarding the placement of the garage with the new lot lines. So the city is satisfied with this proposal.
Yeah, this should meet the requirements that we have to provide a covered parking space, and that's set back from the building and property lines, and everything like that. Everything looks good there. So really, as a Landmarks Commission, you guys would be looking at, is this appropriate, size, design, whatever that you feel would not take away from the historic structure or property.
So, and just with further clarification on that point, the home is on the register. The garage that was built in the 50s, 60s, whenever it was built, was that included in the historic designation, or was that always separate from the home?
So we didn't know. This kind of the discussion we had in the last time. We didn't know specifically when it was there, but
Right.
It was probably after the home was built, but maybe not too much longer after. But ultimately, yeah, the Landmarks Commission was okay with having it be removed.
Correct. I'm just wondering, thinking in advance of how the historic designation applies to this new build now, what our purview is in terms of whether it adds or subtracts from the building. So can you clarify on that point? What is our purview of this new build?
Yeah, so I mean, it shouldn't necessarily try to mimic what was there before, so we can tell the difference between what was there historically versus something that's new. With that said, it should be something that still is harmonious with the property and the structure that is there. That the the materials and the scale and those type of things are congruent with what's there, that it's not detracting from there, but adding to it, hopefully.
Dustin, can you just go back to the footprint on I assume the cement block wall around the property will be retained. So this really will only be visible when you're looking straight on the house from Center Street, right?
Cement block wall of which part?
Just along 9th South or 9th East, I'm sorry.
Oh, the existing wall along 9th East? Yeah, so you can see that over there on the left-hand side on 900 East. You can see where that current location is, but the applicant might have more information for you on specific questions you might have.
I have a question about dividing the two lots. Is there any fence or anything required between lot 1 and lot 2?
There's not a fence requirement. They'd be allowed to put a fence there. But yeah, there's not a requirement.
Okay.
As it's just residential, single family uses. So there's not a requirement like there would be in other commercial
Commercial, yeah.
versus residential
Right.
situations. Yeah. Anything else for me?
Am I reading the site plan correctly that the only access to the new lot would be from Center Street?
Correct. So Public Works is having on the north side that goes on to 900 East. That driveway goes away for Public Works. And then the new one would be coming in off of Center Street to access lot 2.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Dustin? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we invite the applicant to make their presentation. You'll have 15 minutes for your presentation. When your time is up, you'll hear a ding and the microphone will be muted. Following your presentation, if we have questions, we will take them at that time.
Brian Dabb, Orem, Utah. I'll just do a quick synopsis. This was originally 2 lots that faced Center Street. The driveway that accesses Center Street, as you see it today, was part of the lot that is on the eastern half of there. The historic home only had 49.5 feet of width. It had a 200-foot depth. The garage that you see today was built in 1996. It was built 0 lot line, shared half on one lot, half on the other lot. As we looked at redeveloping the property, it became more and more difficult to address several of the issues that the city wanted to see. One was that the driveway 900 East go away. The 900 East driveway being the only access to the 905 home led us to many iterations trying to appease the different aspects of the zoning code. The new proposed garage, would love to see it be a little bit bigger. We probably can get it just a little bit bigger, and that would be our proposal. Although we haven't submitted that building permit, we wanted to get your input before we went too far. the public utility easement, which is a current requirement that wasn't there before, pushes us 8 feet away from any property line and therefore restricts us to the single car garage. We do hope that whoever ends up with the home ultimately will, enjoy the fact that it is a double wide driveway, that, a second vehicle could be parked in the utility easement to the side of the garage, those type of things. But this is what we came up with through many iterations with Public Works, the city, the development code, et cetera. So I'll entertain any questions that you guys have.
Thank you.
Do you want to just answer the questions that, about the roof and the wall and the?
So as you can see, the historic home has a full hipped roof. It does not have any gables. That's part of the reason. The addition that probably happened in the 50s, you can see on the north side, it retained that hipped roof look. Although I don't mind a full hip, I don't want a drip line coming right down over the garage door. And so we decided to put the gable on the front end of it. I think it's attractive. I think it will fit the needs. If you guys dislike the hips, I mean, I don't mind getting rid of them. It actually saves me money, but I did think it tied a little bit more to the design of the home. The requirement for a single car garage is 21 feet in length, and that's what this drawing is. Now that we have a fully developed lot plan, it looks like we can go up to 26 feet in depth. We'll probably try to stretch that extra 5 feet if everything else works out, just to give people a little bit of storage, lawn equipment, things like that as well. The home being built in 1905 did not have any of the public utilities that we enjoy today: water, sewer, gas, electric. And so a lot of those things being added later created some other problems. We've rerouted sewer, water at this point, but those come down that new driveway you see. But we had to combine the lots to be able to do that. We have redone the gas, which originally fed into the back of the house. It now feeds into the front, where that's the standard practice today. We will plan on redoing the overhead electric as part of this little project, if all goes to plan. So that's there was one question about the block wall. The block wall from the new property line, which is 113 feet north of Center Street. So that dividing line between Lot 2 and Lot 1 will be the point at which that wall will have to come down to at least 3 feet in height, facing 900 East, as that is the frontage for Lot 2. That is considered the frontage of Lot 2. So.
Can you talk about the cladding. I assume the front will be a brick that maybe will be painted to
Yeah,
match, and then
that was
the other walls will be some sort of siding.
Yeah, so the plan is to do, wood painted siding on 3 sides. And that's similar to the addition on the back of the home. But the front face, I felt like really needed to be the painted brick similar to the home itself. We'll use the same coloring. The home itself has, that little bit of an arch over the windows, and it's actually a structural feature on the house. It won't be on the garage, but we just felt like that was a nice little nod toward the house. So
Just out for my curiosity, I assume the original platting of these 2 lots, they were all full depth running south to north.
they were.
So the replatting is what's given us the L shape for the second lot.
Yeah, the city doesn't want to see the driveway out onto 9th East, and they didn't want 2 lots facing Center Street because of lot widths. I had 70 feet on
Okay.
the one that got torn down, but only 40 feet on or 49 feet on the house. And so by the time we give the driveway to the house, we no longer have the room for a second one to face Center Street.
Thanks for the clarification.
Could you remind me how wide the new driveway will be?
So this driveway here that exists is 18 feet of concrete. You can see where it hits the asphalt in the street. At that point right there, it's 20 feet. The city's asked that the driveways be combined and that they not exceed 30 feet. So we're going to have to get a little creative, because the driveway going north to lot 2 also has to be 12.5 feet wide by code. So we're going to have to get a little creative in that drive approach from the street. So it will be another 10 feet wider than what it is right now.
So would that 10 feet extend to the west or to the east?
To
or
the
a little bit
east.
above?
Yeah, you can kind of see it on the plat where it says driveway lot 2.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Other questions?
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
At this point in the meeting, the commission will discuss this item and with any other, sorry? Oh, yes, actually, before we discuss, we open it for public comment. But at this point, oh, Dustin, you probably have a letter to read into the record.
Yeah, we did have one public comment that came in as a letter, which you guys all received. So I just wanted to kind of put that on the record. Essentially, that one was looking at kind of reminding everyone that this property is located on the east center design corridor is what it's called, I believe. So there's certain elements in that design corridor that would need to be met in the future. So when lot 2 gets developed, you'd be seeing this back because there's a provision in that design corridor for it to come to the Landmarks Commission for review. So essentially just wanted to throw that out there for the public comment.
Thanks, Dustin. So that would be a future item. So for now, we're just discussing this new garage and its appropriateness.
Can I jump in on
Yeah.
this? Okay. Um,
Cl- Sorry. Okay. At this point, we close the period of public comment and we'll begin our discussions as a commission. Thanks.
um, I, um, I think there are some, really positive things about this plan, and there are some things that I'm concerned about. And, I think that, where it's sitting and some of those things are fine. I don't have any objection to that. My objections, and concerns come from the design aspect, where to me, as an architect, it appears that there's a facade and then there's another part. So we've got a facade that has a window that doesn't relate to any window that I can see in the house. There's a difference of material as far as design principles. I would encourage the full, this little building to have its own siding, whether that's brick or whether that's a wood siding or something like that. It just, I see this as being like a carriage house, and a carriage house doesn't have to look like the real house, but it needs to look like it is a full building, a real building in and of itself. And I feel like that's what's lacking here. It doesn't seem to be its own little building. If you look at it straight from the front, it's one building. If you look at the side, it's a different one. You look at the back, it's a different one. And so those are my thoughts on it.
Noting Florence's concerns, and I think they're important. I just want to echo some support for this project. I think the applicant has responded in a very creative way to a difficult set of building guidelines he was given by the city. So I think this is a good use. It's a good process whereby we maintain a historic structure in its integrity, but provide for 2025 concerns for living. So I think it's noting Florence's concern about design. I think it's a strong proposal.
Thank you, Jeff.
I have a question about what is the East Center Corridor?
Yeah, so in different areas in our city, we have design corridors that have been put into our city code that have different design standards, typically for the frontage of the properties fronting onto that street or that corridor. So the East Center Street Design Corridor is one of those that goes along this section of Center Street, I think to the roundabout down the street. And I don't recall off the top of my head where it starts, but
So that's something that who put it in the city plan?
so it's in our city code. So city council does that.
Someone had to approve that. Right?
Yeah, so I think the neighborhood, someone petitioned to put that through, so that went through that process to get added into our city code.
Can I just ask Florence if the wood cladding went all the way around the building, or the brick went all the way around the building, and say that back portion of the roof was like a peaked roof, or the front was a hipped roof, would you be fine with the building with that? And I guess the window, I do like your comment, especially about the window matching the rest of the house.
I would love to see the full thing, cladding be all the same, whether that's brick or whether that's the wood siding or whatever, hardy, whatever it is. I don't have a problem with not having brick on there. I realize that's an expense. I realize that in elevation, when we're looking at this in just this 2D, that it looks really cool to see the brick and the arch. I'm concerned that in 3D it won't look good. Did that answer your question? So,
Yes, I mean, I'm just trying to give the applicant, if we do decide to say punt on this,
Mhm.
further clear instruction on where to go.
I don't see the hip roof as being a really necessary part of the building fitting in. I think it's great that they have thought about that. I think the pitch of the roof is wonderful and that fits in. But a gabled roof with the hardy or wood siding, I think would be very appropriate for what I would consider a carriage house or an outbuilding. That's just my opinion. I would love to hear the majority on that.
I concur with your opinion, and I also am so grateful for where you've placed it, how you worked with the city and all of the things before. So I'm echoing those two comments.
I'm just wondering if we're going to move to a point where we say this project is nearly there, minus some design elements we'd like to reconsider, can we handle this administratively efficiently so we don't have to drag the applicant back in here for yet another meeting so he can actually move along? City, is there a process whereby we can do that efficiently?
Yeah, so on this item, you can make your recommendation and then put conditions and maybe some clarifications for the applicant and staff. And then from there, so say you said, have the whole thing, have one of the two materials, have the roof be consistent, you give that type of feedback, and then he can make those changes and then just work with staff on those things.
Thank you.
And then we can handle that through that means.
Is that the direction we want to go?
That sounds good to me. The one other element of the roof, the cladding, and the one other element that would be the window, that it would be more consistent with the original home.
And are the windows, I can't remember on the original home, are they 1/1 windows or?
Or
we
we
can
could
go
do
back to
a vent there. I mean, an outbuilding doesn't really need a window. I think it's fine to treat this building for what it is. It's a utility building. It looks like it looks like the applicant has a comment.
Yes, we invite Mr. Dabb back to the microphone.
So the window was trying to accomplish two things. One, I was trying to provide light into the garage, natural light, without putting a window down at ground level where people can peer in to see what's there. Two, I didn't put the diamond in it like you see above the roof line on the home, but kind of tried to kind of mimic that shape. So that's kind of rationale for the window in my view, but I'd be more than happy to, put a gable on both ends of the thing and wrap the full thing in siding. It's just, we were asked to bring forth something that you guys could look at. It's kind of a tough situation because what do we bring forth for you to look at, but still, say, okay, we're flexible, but I'd just like to get moving forward. I mean, this has been a long process.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me. I'm, as you've noticed, I'm new to this, and what I'm hearing is that the Landmarks Commission appreciates your patience and your work with this, and we want to move things along. I don't want to be one to slow it down. I do want you to have something that looks compatible. I think it could look compatible with that little back porch area so easily. I think you could make it work very nicely without putting a great expense into it.
Thank you.
So just to clarify, are we asking to take away the window or leave the window, or with the comment of the applicant, does anyone feel one way or the other?
I could see what the reasoning for having the window actually, I could see that. It's just that where it occurs and how it occurs is very different. So if we were going to keep that window, I would say let's keep that little dormer also. But I don't see the window as being necessary. And Brian, I'm not, this is not a hill I'm going to die on. I just kind of want to, I want to know why you wanted it, how important it is to the function of the building. I just don't see it as a real, real problem.
I mean, if it's not a problem, I'd love to leave it just because the natural light would be, important, but I don't want to put windows at a level where people can walk around and see what's inside the garage.
If the window retained the two horizontal or vertical dividers, but not the horizontal, that might be better.
I think that would tie in with what's happening in the house.
What I think the
Yeah.
horizontal does is gives it a little bit more of a craftsman feel. And this is not a craftsman house. It's maybe walking that direction, but not quite there. It's more sort of a four square with classical elements. But with that horizontal divider taken out.
Certainly can do
And-
that.
And are these dividers, would they be embedded in the glass or would they be?
They're generally embedded between the panes of glass.
I'd almost rather not have any dividers. If the divider could be in some sort of relief to the glass, it could stick out a bit so that the way the light passes across the window shows that these are, at least attempting to appear like the traditional historic window.
We could certainly add them.
That's a little bit of maintenance, but
Yeah.
not much. When the dividers are embedded in the glass, they look pretty artificial, especially when you're working with a historic building.
I wanted to just speak in defense of the window because I live in a house that's new and in historical downtown with a garage without a window, and I have missed light. I have to always have the garage open, like if I'm painting or anything else in there. I'm doing little maintenance work. So as in the usefulness, light is useful to me in my new garage downtown.
That's interesting, Susan. And I'm thinking about how North Light is so valuable and it's consistent. And what if that window did not appear on the face of the house, but it was on the north side, and so you could get the light in quite easily.
North light is more important, and
Yeah.
I'm as an artist at least.
I thought you would like that. Just a thought that because I feel like this window is very distracting from the front, but I understand the functionality of it.
And from what I understand, from the wall will still pretty much cover this building at that point right? I mean, this is before it drops. So if you wanted to put the window in the back and there you have that light, my concerns about how it was designed would be,
If we took the back to a gable, we could certainly move the window to the back.
yeah.
But you can see the front from Center Street. You can see the front of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I guess my thing with the window, I'm a big fan of natural light too. And so I think if you want to keep it, maybe have two windows, but I also think I want it to look like intentional, like what you were saying, to keep the lines like a certain style that we're going for, and not just like, so it doesn't look something like that was just built, but maybe more of a mid-century kind of look.
So are we recommending to put the window in the back and the roof is peaked all the way around and the cladding is uniform all the way around? Is that what we're recommending?
What do you mean by it's peaked all the way around? The roof is
Just
hip?
the gable.
Oh,
is-
okay,
Gable at
so,
both
Gable
ends.
Yeah, both
Gable,
ends.
okay.
Sorry. Are those the three recommendations? And then the applicant could work with staff.
Yes, the question is about, yes, on the siding, yes, on the roof. The window, I think that, there are a couple of different options. And one would be to, put the proportion window that we have on um, the same proportion that we have on the existing house, use that same proportion for that window, not the roof dormer window, but the other ones.
Yeah.
Yes. So we've got some different options here. We have a square, but most of them are a vertical proportion, and that could go on the front or the back or just the back. I just think that sensitivity to the existing proportion of the window needs to be addressed. And so I don't want to say you have to have it on the front, you have to have it on the back, you have to have it anywhere. But if a window is used, I would recommend a vertical proportion. And so it could be, another option could be to have that window shape and size that is on the front, to just have that in the back. So I want to give a few different options, front,
Sorry.
back window.
If I'm understanding you correctly, so I don't know if you can see the picture of the home itself.
Yeah.
But the center window on the second floor is kind of square, as are the two that are on the west face toward the front.
Mhm.
Right.
And yeah, there is a precedence of square. You're right.
So, I mean, I was just looking at that horizontal one in the roof line, but
Right.
I could certainly go with the square that's, there.
That would be my recommendation, either a square or a vertical.
And then you could just have a solid pane of glass without any
Mhm.
any dividers, or things like that.
Yeah, correct. Agreed on that. I think to kind of go back off of the grid discussion, unless we're actually doing a preservation, I would say it looks best to just do away with the simulated grids entirely.
I agree.
So, yeah, perfect.
Who's gonna make a motion?
Jesse's getting down to business.
Actually, but can I just ask one more question?
Sure.
So not to like make it even more complicated, but are we talking about color or no? Like what color, the house is pink right now,
I
right?
don't know if we can oversee color, can we, as the landmark commission?
Huh. What color is it? Like a peach?
The garage is pink vinyl. The house has been kind of a gray, green
Mm-hmm.
with a little bit of a yellow undertone. It's a color that we found in the paint chip
Yeah.
process.
Okay.
From prior to the pink. I couldn't abide by the pink, so
What color is it right now, though?
it's a green.
It's the green. Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we have that ability to regulate color.
Yeah, I think we would steer away from the color. I think when it comes to like painting or something like that, it would just be, is it brick that hasn't been painted that wants to be painted or something like that. But as far as the color of paint goes, we typically aren't getting into that detail.
If I can mention color, my whole family cheered when you painted it the color it is.
Amen.
Got rid of the pink, so thank you.
Amen.
5 years later.
Good feedback. Okay. Further discussion, David?
I was just going to make a motion.
Please.
Okay.
Okay, I motion, and help me out here. We can make this a team effort.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I motion that. Actually, maybe I should, is there any? I guess I just say, I motion that we request Brian Dabb, the applicant, to use uniform cladding on the entire perimeter of the building, that we use a gable roof across, or at least a uniform roof,
A uniform roof.
A
It could
uniform
be
roof.
gable or hip.
and that the window, whether it be placed in the front or the back of the garage, be a square panel of glass that references the square windows found in the historic home.
So just a quick modification of the motion. I think that you are moving that we grant the landmark certificate of appropriation with those conditions.
Yes.
Appropriateness.
Do I have to say that again? Yes.
Correct.
Okay, we grant a certificate, a landmark certificate of appropriateness to the applicant Brian Tab with the caveats that the cladding be uniform, cladding of his choice, that the roof be uniform across the entire span of the building, and that the window, whether it be found in the front or the back of the building, replicates the square windows found in the historic home. And those, what do I say about conditions? Oh, the staff make the final determination of appropriateness.
And is it all right if I just get some clarifications on
Please.
that
Please.
before you move forward? So you said square on the window. Did you also mean vertical or square?
I would add square or vertical with the proportions coming from the main house.
Yeah, especially if you look on the west side where, you know, you're going to be looking, the garage is going to be, I guess that's what I keep thinking, wanting it to somewhat replicate that.
Is that what you, and then was it any mention on the grid and the windows or?
A preference that they not be used.
Okay, thanks.
I second the motion.
Okay, since the motion has been proposed. Oh, turn Jesse's mic off. On. Okay. So then we put it to a vote for this motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any nays? All right, so that is a unanimous vote in favor of granting the certificate of appropriateness with the conditions that have been discussed and I believe Dustin had recorded. All right,
I move we adjourn.
Jesse beat me to it. Second of the motion. Anyone?
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this hearing is thereby adjourned. Thank you all. Yeah.